Hello everybody, this is Ronar and welcome back to another episode of Beyond Legendary. Today our goal is to plant an X4 charge onto this thing back over here. There's 7 to 9 enemies on this mission, so it should be fairly standard. Let's go introduce the team. We've got Isbal over here, our arsonist. We have Original Casual, our technical, capable of flamethrowers and rockets, as well as suppression. We have Adam Wing, our shinobi, stealth and swords. Wet John over here is our infantry snake, capable of inflicting ice stuff. And finally we have Jane Kelly over here, shotguns and swords, close quarters, all that fun stuff. Alright, let's begin. I'm gonna start with Adam Wing over here. He's just going to scout out the front of this map. Let's try to get there on time. We've got 6 turns to get there, and there will be little things that we can blow up along the way to increase the timer.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Everybody else is just going to move up just like so. Try to cover as much distance as we can.
Got it. Moving.
Go.
I have far too much money to be expected to do it myself.
And let's see if we can find something for us to kill. Nothing. Alright, let's keep on moving. Where is our shinobi?
On the move.
I want Adam Wing to be the one to move forward first because Adam Wing has the lowest amount of detection tiles. This is kind of a weird subway map. I don't really see maps like this very often. Our goal will probably be to go through this hole, through that hole, and then get up to that thing over there.
Moving on target location.
Everybody
close.
else, keep on moving up. Seems like we found our first thing that we can destroy right up there. Try to make sure that we're able to hit it with somebody around here. But John should be able to see it.
Move, move, move.
Everybody else, just move up, close some distance here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I heard a door over there open. 2 doors opening. I'll take our arsonist and move them first. Alright, first group of enemies is all the way up there, actually. Interesting. If we set this up right, we might be able to get a flamethrower on all 3 of them. That is a very big group of enemies. We gotta be a little bit careful about this. There's a lot of HP in that group. Can we spit ice on them? Not from this angle, it seems. We can do it from here, though.
Location confirmed.
What we'll do is we will have... Here, we'll have our shinobi move up. I'm still interested in keeping concealment on this person.
Got it.
So I'll keep you far from the fight. Everyone else will turn around and prepare to fight these guys, though. I'm thinking we'll put our ice snake maybe up here. We'll take Isbal and put him right back up over here. Alright, and if they walk towards us, we should be able to set up an easy flamethrower against all of them. See what the enemies do. They're actually walking away from us. Now we have to ask ourselves, is it more worth it to fight these guys or ignore them and move forward? I almost think it's more worth it to move forward, actually. This is a really large map, so there's actually a decent chance that we just don't see them again after all this.
I'll do it.
We know that there's a group of enemies right up there. Maybe we'll have
Confirmed.
Adam Wing start by moving up here. Okay, so I know that there's at least one snake over there, and the red tiles seem to spill over past this wall, so we gotta be a bit careful when moving up. I think I'm okay with hanging out with the squad right around here. Even if we get caught and our concealment is blown, we should be able to fight them from this distance with this squad.
Running.
Yeah, I don't think I mind losing our concealment at this point. I just want to start killing things so I can break out of concealment and start destroying these things. Viper and Frostroid. Now then, you're able to hit like one of the guys over there, but not all of them. How do we do this? Who should begin the fight? I guess we'll begin the fight using our snake. I could do a bitter frostbite here. Now, it's not as good as I thought it would be because if we hit these two, that droid is a frost droid, so it's immune to the ice anyways. Probably the best thing for us to do is to shoot one of those snakes out here, so let's go shoot the one further in the back. Excellent shot. Inflicts some chill and some hypothermia, and we also get rid of its little evasive bonus. Oh, there goes our concealment. And after that, we should be able to wipe out this guy with an ice bit. And that also allows us to destroy the thing in the back over there. I just finished streaming here, so apologies if my speaking is just out of whack. Alright, next up, let's go finish off this Viper. Jane Kelly can do a lightning slash. A little bit of damage, very high graze chance because the initial shot will be eaten by the evasive bonus that it's got. But now we can kill it. Nice job to Jane.
Hostile target down.
Excellent work.
Asset secure.
This is the first 3 enemies on the map. We saw another 3 back there, so we should expect another 2 groups of enemies somewhere around here. I'm gonna throw an evac zone forward because for the most part, I think we're ignoring the stuff in the back and just trying to fight our way forward at this point.
Evac request confirmed. Hold tight. Maybe.
And we're gonna take Isbal over here, see if there's anything else out there, and if there isn't, I'm gonna go for this flamethrower.
To enjoy years of painful and upsetting.
Beautiful damage. I actually killed it in 1 hit. Not bad.
I'm going. I've got the loot.
Alright, that was a misclick. I meant to move a little bit further ahead. Since all of our actions are down, we're going to try really hard not to activate stuff. Maybe take this time to destroy one more of these things. I don't think we'll need any more time than this, though. Here comes another group of enemies. They are going to be on yellow alert most likely, so we might be eating a shot from that sorcerer or drone. Nope. Perfect. Alright. So this is 5 enemies, plus those 3 in the back. That's 8 enemies total found on the map. That should be everything, so we should be clear to move however we want now, I think. Since we know that the remaining enemies are all the way in the back, we should be clear to just run up here and start killing things. I want to see if we can finish off that sorcerer. Although it's kind of hard, it seems. I want some way to control that sorcerer so it doesn't get to do sorcerer things against us.
Okay.
Maybe we'll take our flamethrower person up here.
Guys, are you seeing this?
Get a flashbang on top of that guy, try to lock him in that spot and prevent him from using psionics against us. Then we'll try and see if we can kill off this drone here. Jane Kelly does have armor piercing. Excellent work.
X-ray neutralized.
Kind of an awkward position because of the way that guy is placed. But if we come up to here and overwatch him, that should disincentivize him from running down here and trying to flank Jane Kelly. I don't think she's actually flanked, right? I think she's flanked, but I'm pretty sure she's not actually flanked. That's probably just from the drone from earlier. We also have access to suppression. Oh, in fact, I think we have a way of dealing with this guy. This soldier has disorienting suppression, so suppressing this guy will also disorient him. Probably should have did that instead of throwing the flashbang, but that's alright though. And then we just need somebody around here to go pick up that objective.
Go, go, go!
Let's just reposition around here, maybe do some overwatching. He is actually going to run the overwatch. Does not die from it. Ooh, what's he doing right now? Double dashing into a better spot, it seems. Alright, that's fine. Let's finish him off.
Clear.
But first, let's go plant our bomb.
The The X4 charges are active, but the
Alright, who are we
aliens
giving
are
this
still
kill
working
to?
to isolate the transmitter.
I think this kill
Eliminate
should
any remaining
go
hostiles before they
to
cut it off.
the more support unit. Who's more of a support unit? I feel like the technical ends up being more of a support unit. So maybe we try to give the technical the kill. But he might have loot. The only way I can kill him is with the rocket launcher or the flamethrower. I'll give it to the shinobi. Nice work.
You can't handle me.
Perfect.
アイス食べたい
Now within the next few turns, those three might come back up, so we need to get ready to kill them.
Locked and loaded.
And we'll also wait for the reinforcements. Oh, there they are. They found us. One shot from the snake. Not going to connect, unfortunately. Engineer, Viper, and Sectoid. I would like to try to kill the Viper and the Sectoid and get Illyrium cores off of them. Uh-oh. That's not good. I saw his head start glowing. Anytime you see their head start glowing before their actions, you know they got a mind control. Ouch. Okay, not very pretty. However, we have a solution for that. Disorienting suppression does disorient the enemies. So we are going to do just that and disorient that sectoid. Get control over our character back again. We don't need to chop any of the stuff anymore, so let's do something else here. Who can do something relevant for us? Okay, I have an idea. We're gonna activate the Oscar Mic, give Gene Kelly a lot more mobility. And maybe, just maybe, we can reach them. Quite yet. What if I give you a command, Jane? Is that gonna be enough for you to reach them? I think so. That should definitely be enough mobility. Oh my goodness, that is so much mobility. That would be a cool attack, but 80% of this hit chance is graze, so we're basically doing half damage against that thing. Yeah, we're basically doing 5 to 6 damage against it from this range. I think we go for the sectoid and knock him out. The Viper might just come up and try to bind us, and if the Viper binds us, that's completely fine. But I want to get rid of that sectoid. See if he has any loot on him. Doesn't seem like he does. Then after that, we're going to move up just a little bit more. And inflict some chill against this thing. That'll do some damage, pop its little evasive bonus, and it'll lower his evasion so it's easier for our team to actually be able to hit him. And then after that, I'm going to start bringing our flamethrower dude just a little bit closer. I'm trying to spread out so we don't all eat poison to the face. Although I have no idea if that's going to be... Oh, this is perfect. The Viper just killed itself. A little bit of chip damage, but we'll be okay. Alright, knock this guy out, please. Excellent work. Dead Viper, free loot. And let's go for an attack on that Advent Engineer. Can't reach him with this, but we should be able to reach him with a chop from you. There we go. Engineer down, loot obtained, and it's time for us to get out of here. Very straightforward mission, very happy with that. Let's get back to the evac zone. We could also find a new evac zone if we don't feel like running everyone back here.
行くよ
But the entire squad is available here. That should be fine. Reinforcements might be coming in fairly soon. Let's see if we can get out of here before the reinforcements arrive.
Copy that.
One more round. And we are out. The squad did an excellent mission here. No injuries, completely flawless.
Evac confirmed.
I'll see you guys back in HQ.
XCOM operatives are secure. Firebrand is returning to base.
Alright then, and welcome back to the squad. You guys did excellently here. Let's see if there's any
One by one,
promotions.
we're evening up the score, Commander.
2 promotions,
work
not
out
bad.
there.
I'm gonna be taking Shadow Step to avoid Overwatch. And finally, Jane Kelly over here is our very first Sergeant. Now, we have our first big decision to make. Are we gonna be taking Lightfoot for increased mobility, or are we taking Sixth Sense for immunity to explosive AoEs and all that other stuff? I feel like being immune to Purifier's self-destructing and flamethrowering is really important for a frontline type unit, and while I do value the +3 mobility a lot, I think this one wins out in the end. So we're going to be taking Sixth Sense over here, and then we'll be taking Aggression, Sidewinder, Butcher into Chimera. Alright, let's go do some beef management. Now, I was late with this episode today. By the time you guys see this, it should probably be like around Tuesday or so. I've been trying to upload a episode every single day, but it gets kind of overwhelming sometimes, so we kind of missed like 2 or 3 days worth of uploads right now. But yeah, let's get this out of the way here. So what are we doing right now? I think we needed to build anything? No, I don't think we need to build anything. What did we need to do? Pathfinder vests and armors. Oh, interesting. I think they put all 3 of the Pathfinder things in one unlock over here. I have been meaning to pick up a ultralight vest at some point, so I guess this isn't a bad time to do it. Let's get that out of the way. Anything else that needs to be done? In the past, those 3 used to be like 3 separate things that you had to do. Got our proving grounds over here. We're currently in the middle of mechanized warfare. Is there anything else we needed to do besides mechanized warfare? Mech Trooper augmentation is something we want to set up also. I'll do that once this is complete though. We also want hazmat vests. There's quite a few things that we want from the proving grounds and the R&D labs. I can't get all of those right away though, unfortunately. And we also got ourselves some alien alloys from that mission. Nice. I'm trying to recall what we were planning on doing. I think we're getting ready to liberate this region. The liberation mission is currently running, and I guess we're just gonna make contact here. Grandmother is still training in the training center. I keep on giving her some more stuff. Negative trace removed, excellent. And ooh, bit of lag here. Another smash and grab mission with 7 days. Advent officers and priests will have returned fire, so just be very careful about that. I think for a mission like this, we want to try to send in people that have abilities like Shadow Step, maybe? Is that even a reaction fire? I don't think that's a reaction fire. I think that's just like an ability they get. Missed attacks. No, I think that is return fire. So the important thing is we want to send in people that are accurate so we don't miss any attacks. For a team like this, I'm thinking we'll send in... Kenobi should be fine. Who else do we send in? Is there hacking? No, just smashing and grabbing. I think someone like the Storm Rider should work pretty well. Maybe we'll bring in the Assault. Anything that has like 100% point blank accuracy will probably work pretty well on this mission. I'm kind of trying to fit in that type of team right now. Jane Kelly is an obvious choice. And finally, maybe we'll bring in one more unit here. Who's the one more unit that we bring in? I think we'll bring in the technical. They've got some abilities like rockets and flamethrowers. Okay then. Gearing up the squad, I'm gonna go with the nanoscale vest, medkit over there. Do we have any armor available for you? Not really. How much money do we have to build armor? We have an okay amount of money. I could build some more Predator armors. In fact, I'm gonna do that. allow our frontliners to carry some slightly heavier sources of armor. Make sure they're not going to just die as soon as they get shot at. There we go. Got a very bulky type of team here. Even if we eat some return fires, we should have enough HP to get through and push forward on these types of missions. I believe we don't have any equipment in terms of offensive stuff because most of that stuff is being used by the HQ assault people, but that should be okay. And let's see. It's at 121%, so it's expected to be 10 to 12 enemies. If we take off a little bit of equipment and try to get this down to 125%, we might not need to deal with an extra batch of enemies on this mission. I'm gonna see if we can set this up to be like that. 125%, pretty good. And there's one more thing I want to see if we can build. Oh, I should have built some more trooper armor, although I guess we don't really have any trooper corpses left. That's alright. 125% should bring this down to... Oh no, it doesn't. Yeah, well, that's fine. That means it's probably bringing it down from 12 enemies down to 10 enemies, so even though it doesn't look like it's changed, it does actually affect it somewhat. Alright, we got ourselves a smash and grab mission to grab some more resources. Always a good thing to see that type of stuff going. Let's finish making contact over here so we have a brand new region to work with. There we go. Brand new region.
The Elder's hunter is after something in this area.
Over here, there's not a lot of people in here, so even if we try to find intel, we won't be able to find much. Instead, for now, I'm going to keep these guys on recruiting and try to recruit people. Let me also start throwing people in here, because I always forget to do that after I take them back out. Okay. Let's go pick up those alloys, seeing as how there's no other missions that we're really looking for right now. And while we wait for these regions to recruit people, we'll continue trying to find some more missions in these spots over here. Another person recruited to Eastern US. Perfect. I could start switching this place over to Intel and trying to find missions around here. That's not a bad choice. Maybe I'll do that right as we finish up in this spot.
Priority message coming through, Commander.
Next month is here.
I had high hopes for the Resistance.
It's always important to read what the Chosen can do after each month's supply drop comes in. I used to always just like skip through these, but there's some really big ones that you want to make sure that you find. This is a really big one. As you guys can see, the Chosen in Beyond Legendary get to do some really nasty things, bringing additional advent forces into the world. That's a really nasty one.
I'm on a whole other level. Slowly, all of the pieces fall together, and your defiance of the Elders comes closer to its end.
Okay. I think what we're going to do now is we're going to scan over here. Before I do that though, let's check out this black market real quick, see if there's anything new that we might want to buy or sell.
Market is open.
Alien alloys and hyper-reactive pupils. I don't plan on selling any alien alloys ever, but I do plan on selling this, so I'm going to get rid of that right away. There's a couple of things that we need to get rid of. Give ourselves a little bit more credits to work with. Or I guess supplies in this case. Credits would be XCOM 1. XCOM 2 is all about the supplies. Alright, we got ourselves 80 supplies. And we can buy ourselves a recon and a quartermaster. Do I need a recon? Do I need a holo targeting unit?
Seen indicates the Chosen aren't going to stop hunting us, Commander.
I think I
Our only
already
option is
have
to
a holo
find them
targeting
first.
unit.
To do that, we'll need to work with the Resistance on a covert action in the range.
One of our
Commander, we
sharpshooters.
currently have no new supplies coming in. We'll need to seek out new means
Bradford
of
is trying as
replenishing
hard
our
as possible to
resources.
talk over us. Let's see. Any bonds that we would be okay with doing here? We'll do the bonds after the HQ assault, probably. You know what? Let's bond these two guys together just because it would be funny to have two rooks on the same team. Alright, and let's keep on looking for missions. I think we're gonna start looking for missions in Eastern US. Start trying to set up this region, seeing as how both other regions are mostly under control at this point. Supply raid. We got ourselves a supply raid here. That would be quite nice. It does cost us intel to do this one though, because this one has the low time on it. 15 to 18 enemies. I'll probably skip that. And we got ourselves our very first Reaper. Let's go check him out.
But our people fight for the same reason. For the world we once knew. Together we will end this occupation. Or die trying. My people have thrown off the shackles of alien oppression. And through discipline, we have survived.
Let's
We
go
don't
check
rely
out
on
our
the
Reaper.
aliens' technology, and we would never live in
Lemon.
their cities.
Something
We
happened
are
with
the
Lemon's
hunters.
character. You're supposed to be invisible.
We
Let me go
move in the
fix that for you real quick.
And we won't sleep until the last alien is dead at our feet. Things are going so well. Sounds like my
I don't
Reapers
know
can
what's
take on
up with
some
your
new
character,
orders.
Lemon. I will have to check the character pool to figure out why it does that. Where is it? I know you wanted to have the blowout hair. And then the rest of your body you wanted to be invisible. Alright, there we go. Now you're looking a little bit more like how you're supposed to look. And then finally, I think you wanted your hair color to be gray. I'll just do that for now. And finally, your face mask. Alright, Lemon Kitsune. Now then, let's take a look at the soldier and get a bit of an analysis going on. So this is the Reaper class. In Beyond Legendary and TED Jam by extension, this class is focused on a couple of different variations on how you can build it. The first variation is kind of like just focusing mostly on shooting, with Banish being kind of its like big thing kind of. This is where its main power spike comes in. It gets access to things like True Predator and Banish to work together. I'll go through all of these perks, of course. You guys probably don't know what I'm talking about. So let's go through each one line by line. Now, first things first, let's read all of their abilities up here. They have the Shadow ability, grants the soldier Shadow, an advanced form of concealment that lasts for 2 turns. So, I don't know if we had another class that also used Shadow already, but I'll explain this one more time. Shadow reduces detection radius to just a few tiles at most, so literally it's just 1 tile around the Reaper itself. The Reaper has increased mobility while in Shadow, and entering Shadow is a free action and has a 4-turn cooldown. So it's, for the most part, very similar to how it is in vanilla, but the main difference is that it makes it so that you only have a 2 turns in this. So you can't just like run through the entire mission invisible for the entire time. That's more of the Shinobi class's job. But in Long War of the Chosen, Shadow is a way for the Reaper to sort of not take damage for certain turns, get into position and do things. Try not to think of this as like a dedicated stealth unit or a scout unit. This is more of a, well, I guess kind of a scout unit, but this is more of like a unit that kind of weaves in and out of battle, sort of. They've got the tracking ability, so they can detect enemies even without line of sight. Very useful for not losing concealment at the beginning of a mission. We got squad sight over here, just like the snipers, they can shoot from far away. Now, unlike the snipers, the Vector rifle has accuracy fall off at really far ranges, so even though they can shoot at something, a lot of the times if you're shooting from the opposite side of the map, you'll have like 0% accuracy on the target. Unlike the sniper rifle, the Vector rifle does less damage and also has less squad sight distance. But still pretty good though, like don't underestimate it. Pipe bombs. Your damaging grenades inflict bleeding, dealing 1 damage per turn for 3 turns. And I think that's it. I'm gonna go through their secondary weapons. So they got the Vector rifle, they've got empty slots over here, they can wield a pistol. And their secondary weapon is the throwing knife. It is kind of a short to mid-range type of throwing weapon. It has charges, kind of like the sawed-off shotgun, so you can run out of these, and you replenish them, similarly to the sawed-off shotgun if you pick up the knife juggler perk. Adds +1 bonus damage to throwing knives and provides 1 additional throwing knives. Each kill with a primary weapon grants a knife charge. So if you want the soldier to be a dedicated throwing knifer, you probably want to take knife juggler. Otherwise, you go for the other stuff here. I think in terms of perks, we'll start by talking about the bottom row, because this will probably be the most straightforward and probably very reminiscent of the vanilla one, and then we'll slowly talk about the other ones. First one over here, concentration. Grazing attacks are automatically upgraded to normal hits. So with the Reaper, you're only going to ever hit or crit. You don't have to worry about grazing. I know some people really hate graze as a mechanic, so this is a great thing to use if you don't like that. Another good reason for taking concentration is because the Chosen have an ability called Infighter, and if you're attacking them from within 4 tiles, they have like 40% dodge chance. So by taking concentration, you can negate all of that and make it so that your throwing knives hit for full power. Shooting Sharp, pretty self-explanatory perk. 2 armor piercing, 15 bonus aim when shooting against units in cover. Very good for if you're doing a shooting build, which is kind of what you're focused on if you're doing this type of build here. You're mostly focused on treating them as sort of like a flanker, sniper type thingy with the ability to get into position without getting caught by the enemies. Homing Mine, attach a claymore onto an enemy. The mine will explode upon that enemy taking damage. This one doesn't really specifically fit with this, but it's like bonus damage if you want it. I usually opt to take the other stuff up here, like Silent Killer. Cheap Shot. Once per turn, gain a movement action after shooting with your primary weapon at a unit that was damaged this turn. Cannot trigger on the same turn as knife encounters. Yeah, so this is the type of unit where you can kind of take really aggressive flanks on the enemies, shoot an enemy, and then reposition back to safety. I would take this if you really just don't care about using throwing knives or the other line of perks up there, and you just want to have a unit that can run up, shoot things, run back. And using Shadow, you can make sure that you're not activating more enemies as you move up into the flanks. A very fun type of flanker style build. And of course over here, Banished, it's kind of their signature ability here. Fire at a target until you run out of ammo or it dies. Each shot has 20 aim less and 1 damage less than the previous one. So this is very heavily nerfed from vanilla, but it is still really powerful. There's many boss units in this game, and with the amount of accuracy growth that Reapers have, if you set the soldier up correctly, you should be able to get like near 100% accuracy on every single one of your shots against like a Sectopod or a Chosen that's standing out in the open. Still very good. The aim fall off is quite significant though. 20 aim, like think about it this way, right? Your first shot, let's say you have 120 accuracy. You hit them, your second shot will have 100 accuracy, you can hit them with certainty. But starting from the third shot already, you're down to like 80 accuracy, and it only gets worse and worse. So you need to find ways to compensate aim for these guys. Things like hollow target perks, hollow targeters on the sharpshooters. If you set up all of that type of stuff, you should be able to set yourself to be able to get like 4, 5, 6 hits off pretty reliably. Obviously, expanded magazine and scopes are going to be a must on this type of build. And naturally, you want to check for really high accuracy on your Reaper too. Over here we got Bullseye. Fire a shot that deals critical damage and it gives the target penalties to aim, defense, and will. This should be permanent if I'm not mistaken. Should be permanent. I don't know if this is permanent against the Chosen. I don't know if like the Hunter has ways to mitigate his aim loss or whatever. And finally, True Predator. Decreases the per shot aim penalty of Banish by 5. So instead of subtracting 20 aim per shot, now you're only losing 15 aim per shot. It's actually quite significant. If you are planning on doing a Banish build, I would recommend this unless you're so chock full of accuracy that you don't think you'll need this and you're okay with taking First Strike for bonus damage. It also comes with some other abilities. I'll explain the rest of these other abilities once we go through these other perks here. This perk over here is mostly meant to upgrade the Tech Sergeant perks over here. Alright, for the next set of perks, I'm gonna go talk about probably the Knife Thrower build. So we start off with Knife Juggler. You get bonus throwing knives, your knives do more damage, and you can get more knives back if you kill things with your gun. So you're basically going to alternate between throwing knives at things, and once you get low on knives, you try to get kills with your guns.
elders and their brutality.
I wish there was a
is
way
all
to
that.
like
They
quiet
have
them.
slaughtered many of the elders' minions. and
Can we
feasted
maybe
upon the
do...
corpses
I
of
don't want to like
prey.
lower the audio too much, because there are characters that will talk at some point. No, not load. Edit options.
Running! Running! Got it! Moving! Running!
Or is it this one? I don't actually know what VoIP volume is. Alright, well, we'll just lower the most of those down a bit, see if I'm able to talk. Alright, where's that Reaper? Okay, so, you guys know all about the throwing knives first perk now. Second perk over here is Crippling Strike. Throw a knife that causes the target to be maimed for 1 turn, so they'll get 0 mobility. This does work against the Chosen, I believe, but they can activate a special ability called Combat Readiness as a reaction to you whenever you hit them, and I believe that unsets their mobility from 0. But other units that this works on include Berserkers, Chrysalids, Stun Lancers. This is an excellent perk for dealing with all of those things. If you're doing a knife build, I highly recommend Crippling Strike. And even if you're not doing a knife build, if you're very confident about not needing Shooting Sharp or whatever, this is actually not a bad perk to take. I would recommend taking this if you're okay with losing out on the Shooting Sharp accuracy. Next perk over here, Silent Killer. You are not revealed from shadow when you kill with your primary weapon. This brings up another point. I didn't mention that throwing the knife does not reveal you from shadow. So normally shooting while you're in shadow will reveal you. Throwing the knife will not. So if you combine that with Silent Killer and get kills with your Vector Rifle to give yourself more knives, you can try to stay in shadow for like the full duration of those 2 turns and basically be untouchable by the enemies. And this allows this soldier to kind of infiltrate the enemy backline, do a bunch of damage without getting revealed, while allowing your snipers to get shots on enemies because you're providing vision. Very fun, powerful concept. I generally go the knife build if I end up with a Reaper with low accuracy growth as well as high mobility. You need high mobility to get close to the enemies and get the flanks. Next perk over here is Swift Throw. Throw a knife as a free action, 4-turn cooldown. Very powerful perk. You get to throw 2 knives in 1 round. That's really good. Nothing much to say. Knife encounters over here. Once per turn, gain a bonus action as after throwing a knife at an enemy within 5 tiles. Cannot trigger on the same turn as Sheep Shot. Oh my gosh, I'm getting really tired right now, guys. It's hard to talk right now, but I'm gonna try my best. So basically, if you're within close range, you get to throw 2 knives. You'll actually see a circle around your character in the field. It's kind of hard to explain, but if I ever have a soldier with this perk, I'll point it out for you guys. But basically, as long as the enemy is within that circle, you get to throw your knife twice. With Swift Throw, this allows you to throw 3 knives in 1 turn, which is quite powerful. Knives do a lot of damage, and being able to throw 3 of them, you'll be very surprised that you can just like kill mutons in just like 2 or 3 knives, especially if you land good crits. Next perk over here, Impersonal Edge. When you get a kill with a throwing knife, reduce Shadow's cooldown by 1, and gain a stackable +20 aim buff for 3 turns. Now, this is kind of interesting because this gives you the ability to try to maintain your shadow for as long as possible, and you can have a soldier that's basically unhittable as long as you keep feeding them kills with their throwing knives, which is kind of cool, honestly. Another use of this perk over here is that it gives you a stackable +20 aim bonus. If you manage to get a decent amount of kills with your throwing knives, you can set up your banish so that you have perfect accuracy on every single one of your shots despite the aim fall off. Very powerful. Final perk over here, Rend the Mark. Throwing knives apply a stacking +50% crit chance against the target from all sources for the remainder of the turn. So for example, if you throw 2 Rend the Mark throwing knives, so if you use knife encounters, you'll apply a -100% crit chance debuff on the enemies, which means from anywhere you shoot them, you just get +100% crit chance. It's incredibly powerful versus enemies that aren't meant to be crit. So for example, Sectopods, Gatekeepers, boss units that normally just would not have like a flanking bonus against them. Now you can easily set up 100% crit chances on them. Not only that, this allows you to actually crit the Chosen. the Chosen have a built-in 200% crit chance. So in order to achieve 100% crit chance on the Chosen, you must have 300% crit chance. With 2 knife encounters plus a swift throw, you can actually achieve 150 of that crit chance already. If an officer commands this person, you can actually get 200% crit chance against the Chosen. And that basically unsets their crit resistance, and then it's just a matter of your other units getting good shots against them. Random Mark works pretty well for certain types of units especially. For example, the... let me see if I can find them. Do we have the Bounty Hunter yet? Yes, the Bounty Hunter. The Bounty Hunter naturally gets a lot of crit chance already, and they get bonus damage for every crit chance above 100%. So using that other ability, you can stack a lot of damage with the Bounty Hunter. The other unit that really makes use of that is the Hell Knight over here, or any unit with the Slamfire ability. For the rest of the turn, whenever you get a critical hit with your shotgun, your actions are refunded. So imagine you use your Random Mark throwing knives on like a Sectopod, and now every single one of this person's shots are 100% chance to crit. You can just unload your entire magazine or clip onto the Sectopod, and you'll probably kill it with that too. Well, no, that's not true. Beyond Legendary Sectopods are really hard to kill. But you can kill a lot of things, or do a lot of damage at least. And you can go really wild with perks like Slamfire. I'm sure there's many other combos, but those are the main ones that came to mind right now. Alright, and the final row up here, I haven't really touched this row too much myself, but in theory it should be very, very good. The first perk over here is very loaded. Shadow Grenadier. Throwing or launching grenades no longer ends the turn, breaks shadow. Wait, what? Throwing or launching grenades no longer ends the turn, breaks shadow, and grenades have no cooldown. Okay, so it's missing some commas there, but it doesn't end the turn to throw a grenade, so you can throw a grenade and shoot, or you can throw 2 grenades, or you can throw a grenade and move. And it doesn't break shadow, and now grenades have no cooldown, because before it has a 1-turn cooldown, so now there's no cooldown, so you can throw 2 grenades if you want in a row. In addition, you can throw grenades 2 tiles further, and their radius is increased by 1, grants a grenade-only slot. So this build over here is meant to work with pipe bombs. You can inflict a lot of bleed and residual damage on your enemies with this combo over here. Stalker, +3 mobility and +10 aim while concealed. This is mostly just a combo off of being in stealth with Shadow Grenadier. For the most part, I feel like if you're doing this build, you probably won't be taking Stalker, and you would probably prefer to take Crippling Strike or Shooting Sharp if you're doing the shooting aspect of the build. But this is good too. If you have like really low stats for whatever reason on your Reaper, this is probably your best bet at correcting those stats. Salt in the Wound. All your attacks and effects deal +1 damage against units suffering from damage over time effects. So this affects your pipe bombs. Your bleeds will now do 2 damage per turn instead of just 1 damage, and after you hit them with one of your grenades, you get to shoot them, and that shot that you take will also deal +1 damage. So that's kind of like a little combo that you got going on over here. Next perk over here really seals the deal though. Once per turn, gain an additional action after taking a standard shot at an enemy suffering from bleeding, poison, burning, or acid burning. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to throw a grenade with your first action. That grenade will inflict bleed. You'll have 1 more action left over. Now you can shoot them. They'll take bonus damage because of Salt in the Wound. And you get your action back so you can throw another grenade or shoot them again 1 more time. This is a very powerful combo. It allows you to get approximately 3 instances of damage in 1 action, and this comes at Staff Sergeant rank, which is fairly early actually. The one caveat to that is that this is conditional upon them receiving damage over time effects. So this will not work if you can't inflict something on them. So for example, the pipe bomb inflicts bleed. If you're throwing this on a drone or a mech, you will not be able to get your multi-shot off because the mech won't bleed. You'll have to make sure that you carry an acid grenade on this person if you want to do that. Versus enemies that are just completely immune, this build for the Reaper is going to fall off really hard. Particularly against the Chosen in the endgame, they do get sealed armor as one of their abilities, so they can't take bleed, poison, fire, and all that other stuff. So unfortunately, this build, in my opinion, is strong early on, but it does fall off quite hard. But it comes with some really powerful perks though, like even though it doesn't work against certain types of units, against the stuff that it does work on, you'll absolutely wreck them. Death Dealer grants plus 25% crit chance when shooting flank targets in shadow. The critical damage bonus of your weapon is doubled.
Share little interest in preserving the true nature of our world, beyond what their eyes can show.
So the critical damage of this gun right now is 2. If it's doubled, it would be 4. So essentially this is a gun.
In that respect, they are a value.
I can't tell if you guys can hear me whenever I speak over the voice lines. Let me know if you guys can hear me or not. So this vector rifle does 3 to 5 damage. It's comparable to an assault rifle, and even with crit bonus, it's comparable to an assault rifle. When it finally crits though, it's going to instead do 4 damage instead of the usual 2. So that would be 7 to 9 damage. For a ballistic weapon, 7 to 9 damage is absolutely insane, and I can imagine for the higher tier weapons, it gets even crazier. Very powerful perk over here, and it also gives you 25% crit chance. If you're able to get a flank on your enemy for 40% crit, plus the Death Dealer for another 25%, you get 65% chance to crit. That's actually pretty respectable. If you manage to find some way to build up this guy's crit chance a little bit more, for example, if you have Rend the Marked and Swift Throw, or if you have a Hollow Targeter that can give plus 20 crit chance, or the Officer has Get Some and some other abilities, you can easily push this up to very high crit chances very easily. And being able to shoot something twice for massive damage is really, really good. If you don't feel like doing some sort of banish setup, or if you don't feel like building throwing knives, but you do want your Reaper to be a shooter, you can opt to just take Death Dealer and a bunch of other shooting perks, and that would serve for a pretty powerful combo. The bonus critical damage on Death Dealer also combos with Bullseye if you want to do that. I would probably take Death Dealer as a perk if I ended up rolling a lot of critical hit chance abilities over here, such as things like Aggression. Things of that nature would make me consider building a Death Dealer build. And of course you want to make sure that you have good accuracy if you do that. Warbringer over here grants plus 1 charge to every grenade equipped, and your grenade's area of effect is increased by another tile. At this point, if you take all of the grenade perks, I'm pretty sure their grenades should have as much AoE as like a grenade launcher launched grenade. So that's actually very, very powerful if you decide to go that route. You could give them a bunch of damage over time grenades such as gas grenades, fire grenades, and kind of turn them into sort of a support grenadier type build that can also shoot. I would recommend going this route if like maybe you have really low mobility and really low accuracy. Like this is like if you have low accuracy but you have high mobility, you do throwing knives. If you have low mobility but high accuracy, you do shooting. And then if you have like low everything else, you probably just try doing something like this. Final perk over here, First Strike. While concealed or flanking your target, you deal plus 3 damage with your vector rifle. Lots of bonus damage perks over here, and if you combine that with a multi-shot from Cold Blooded, you can get a lot of bonus damage out. If you're not worried about the accuracy for Banish, you can also opt to take First Strike. Plus 3 damage against a flank target is a lot, considering you'll end up shooting them like 6 times. That's like 18 bonus damage, assuming all the shots land. Okay, so you got your little grenade multi-shot perk up here, you got your knife throwing perk in the middle, and you have your Banish single target kind of sniper build down here. All very powerful builds, and now you guys have an idea of what stats I'm looking for to decide which build I go for. And of course down here we have some bonus perks over here. I do see that we have a couple of support abilities. Enemies hit by grenades deal 2 less damage for 1 turn. When combined with innovative ammo, even the most dangerous enemies will struggle to properly deal damage. We got something like Thousands to Go. An interesting Overwatch perk over here, but this guy's build doesn't really focus on Overwatch. Tandem Warheads. We do actually have a lot of grenade boosting perks over here. But I feel like I want an endgame build that can fight the Chosen. Now you guys might be wondering, how do you tell if your Reaper has high accuracy? And I was trying to figure out a good way to tell what a soldier's starting stats were without having to pop open the code. And there's sort of a workaround to that. So you're still looking at the code, but if you go to your alternative mod launcher, and let's look up the mod that this guy's from, which should be Long War the Chosen. Let me see. Where's my Long War the Chosen? Let me find it if I can. What was it? Experimental. I think it was experimental. There we go. If you come down to here and go to the config, try to find the file that they might be in, XCOM class data. I think this is the one that we're looking for here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control F. See if we can find the Reaper in here. Not the ability name Reaper, the Reaper class right here. And if we scroll down a bit, if I remember correctly, we can find their growth from over here. So at squatty rank, so assuming they were a rookie before, technically they don't start off as rookies, but assuming they started off as a rookie and they ranked up into squatty Reaper, they gain 7 offense. So offense would be accuracy. And this guy's sergeant. So at Lance Corporal, he's gaining 2. And then at Corporal, he gains another 2. And then at Sergeant, he gains another 2. So now we know he's gaining 2, 2, 2, 7. So that would be 7 plus 2, 9, 11, 13 accuracy gain total. So subtract 13 from this stat point over here. This soldier was a 66 accuracy rookie. And all you need to know about rookies is 65 accuracy is perfectly average. So this guy's literally 1% above average. So he's pretty much like an average statted soldier. His mobility is a little bit higher than usual. We can kind of go whichever route we want to go with him. I don't know how I feel about this guy's build. If I were just kind of going around doing whatever I wanted, I'd probably go some sort of grenade build. But versus the Chosen and the end game of Beyond Legendary, I feel like this build is going to fall off. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to build this guy without any of these perks, and we'll actually use some pistol perks maybe. I'm trying to think right now. Grants 25% crit chance when shooting flank targets in shadow. The critical damage bonus of your weapon is doubled. We could try doing Death Dealer with pistols, maybe. That could actually be a fun combo. What am I feeling about Death Dealer and pistols? That could be fun. Another option is just go full knife and just train this guy up in pistols. I see that this person has really high combat intelligence, so I kind of want to make use of that somehow. I'm thinking something like pistol builds and knife, or pistol builds and Death Dealer. Trying to figure out which one is more valuable. I guess if I'm going knives, I do need to use my vector rifle to score kills. Do we have a ninja with Rend the Marked as their ability? I don't think we have a ninja, right? No, I don't think we got a ninja this time around. If we had a ninja class, we could try to combo the knife throwers. No, I don't see it. Here, since on my stream campaign I'm doing a banish build already, let's try doing a knife build for this campaign. I think that might be fun. I'm gonna go straight middle row, probably. So straight middle row, and then we'll give you some pistol perks over here. This is 20 points, 30 points, 40, 45. With high, we can probably fit in... We'll start off with 45 points, and then if we can fit in anything else, we'll just learn whatever we can. And then we'll kind of give this guy the ability to throw knives and shoot things with their pistol from close range. Could be a very fun combo, I think. We'll try that out. And that'll also kind of fit in with Lemon's kind of stealth look going on right now. I think it just makes sense. Now, we get another operation over here. We can either rescue Defector, we could try to reduce progress. I think we try to rescue a Defector. How's the progress? The progress isn't even very high right now, so probably we'll just try to rescue a Defector. For this mission, let's send in our Arsonist. With a very low ambush chance, so we don't need to send in too many of our best people. In fact, we only have these 3 people to send in, so I guess we're sending all of these guys in. We'll send Bobo on this one.
I'll order my people to get underway immediately.
Cool. Alright then, let's keep on scanning and looking for more missions for us to do. I'm going to be scanning for missions up here.
10, Eastern United States.
Get more training done for Den-Mother. We can finally get Trial by Fire for her, and this is going to allow us to kind of jumpstart our early game troops. All of our low EXP troops are going to be quickly ranked up because of that. Viper rounds. Gross.
Just what are you and the Reapers up to, Commander? I've heard they'll eat.
These magnetic-based weapons are a lot like the early.
Alright, big upgrade
They fire
here.
projectiles at extremely high velocity.
Alright, magnetic weapons should last us for the entirety of the mid and some of the mid-end game type stuff. Excellent pickups over here. As you guys can see, there's a lot of stuff down there. We're also going to buy the advanced magnetic weapons next.
I had assumed you'd
Well, not
make
buy,
that
but
research a priority,
research.
Commander. I'll notify you as soon as the report is available.
What was I going to promote this guy into again? Is there something I was planning on making him into? His stats are perfectly average, so I'm not sure what I want to do with him. Maybe another shinobi? Here, let's make more shinobis. You can never have enough stealth units. That's what I always say. Alright, finally finished building our resistance ring. If we put a engineer in there, we should have faster covert actions. I don't think we need that just yet though. We don't need another scientist. All 4 of our scientists are hard at work right now already. What do I need to do right now?
We've got the schematics, and our equipment is ready to
I
begin
need to take
assembly.
this guy
Commander.
out.
Just give the word, and we'll build the Skulljack.
Yeah, let's clear out the rest of this alien debris a little bit sooner. The faster we get that, the better off we'll be, I think. Finally got our Spark over here. Am I gonna be talking about a second class right now on stream? This Spark probably doesn't have a name, so if you guys want a character, just let me know in chat or comments. Next up, let's do the Mech Trooper augmentation so we can
We'll
just
get
start
started
working
right
on
away,
Mech
Commander.
Troopers.
I'll send word when the project is.
I do want to showcase that on the YouTube channel because that's one of my favorite stuff in the entirety of this game. There's some really cool animation for the mech units that you can get. Where's that Spark? Right down here. Alright, Spark. We do have enhanced layered armor and impact
The
fields.
skirmishers are no different. I don't trust them. And I don't like sending my people out
Fire.
hand in hand with them.
Concentration,
They're
stiletto.
definitely loyal to the commander.
Alright, we're probably just gonna take these 2 perks over here and make this guy pseudo-tanky. There's multiple ways you can build these guys. These guys are very similar to their vanilla counterparts, but they have a couple of unique signature abilities here that have all been kind of condensed into 1 perk. So first, their loadouts. Their loadout consists of a heavy autocannon, but you can use any of the other types of mech weapons. So for example, you are allowed to use the mech sniper rifle. This thing is a unique thing that does a lot of damage and it has perfect accuracy even through cover with squad sight. However, cover reduces the damage of the shot. These guys can also carry a flamethrower if you would rather do that. I personally think the Spark operates best with a standard machine gun type thing. I believe the chain gun and the autocannon are both exactly the same, just different looks. Down here we have their secondary weapon, as well as their equipment over here, depending on what they have equipped up here. The Spark bit is able to shoot any of these things out. You can also switch this out with, for example, a gremlin. And then you'll have like one auxiliary slot down there. You can grab a mech shield. This gives you a little bit more tankiness. You can choose to grab the ordnance launcher, which allows you, this is my favorite thing by the way, this looks so cool. The animation for shooting this thing with like a rocket, it's the coolest thing ever. I would recommend you guys do this if you're playing Ted Jam right now. And then of course the strike module. This is basically a punchy fist thing that you can use. Very similar to the XCOM 1 punchy fist if you guys have ever played that. Alright, so perks over here. We've got the overdrive ability, take 3 actions and no action is turn ending, and you have a bit of recoil with your accuracy from each shot that you take. You have kinetic strike over here, it's a punchy ability, 3 turn cooldown. Reboot. If the Spark takes enough damage to be killed, its health will be reduced to 1 and it will be shielded for the rest of the turn. Can only trigger once every mission and afterwards the Spark is crippled. So essentially this is like bleed out. The crippled is not permanent, it's like crippled for the mission type thing. Here you can read a little bit more information about this, but for the most part this is basically giving the Spark the chance to bleed out instead of outright die when everything on the map just decides to shoot at this thing, which is going to be very often because if your soldiers are in cover, this will be the easiest thing for your enemies to shoot at. Send the bit to a damaged robotic ally and repair it. Neutralize acid and repair all shredded armor. Powerful perk right there. Allows you to maintain tankiness on your Spark. And of course you're immune to fire and poison. You also get the Protocol Suite ability. Hack increased by +0 if equipped with a gremlin or bit. This unit will gain additional abilities. Intrusion Protocol. You can hack security towers and objectives. You'll have Aid Protocol, and you will also have Entrench Protocol, which extends the duration of Aid Protocol used on self while not moving. So if you're planning on having this thing stand out in the open and shoot at the enemies, you might want to activate the Entrench Protocol to just kind of give this thing more defense. It'll essentially act like a soldier in full cover while it has that active. Now then, there are 3 lines over here. The first line up here is kind of tank as well as heavy weaponry and supporting and all sorts of other side abilities. This perk set down here is mostly focused on punching things, and this perk set down here is mostly focused on shooting things. We'll go through probably each row one at a time, and we'll start with, I think bottom row makes the most sense. It usually makes sense to go through the shooting stuff first because that's the easiest to understand, and then you just slowly add some complexity so the kit can be sort of understood easier. Flush, special shot with bonus chance to hit. It's very accurate, but it does very little damage, or like half damage. It forces the enemies to move, and it causes them to lose defense and dodge. This is particularly good against the Chosen. I've explained this before, but I'll explain it again. It's good against the Chosen because when you hit them with it, the Chosen are not only forced to move, it means they can't take their reaction because their quote reaction is basically spent on moving, and then it lowers their defense and dodge. And the lowering of the defense and dodge is quite significant. Up to 30 dodge loss. So remember how I said the Chosen have the ability Infighter, where if you're attacking them from close range, they have 40 dodge? This basically eats away 30 of it, so they only have 10 dodge now from close range. That's very, very good. I will probably pick this if I'm doing the shooting build, which I probably will. I'm going to do like a mix of shooting and tanking. Up here we got Sensor Mass, bonus damage per shot. This is good if you're shooting multiple times, and you will be shooting multiple times with Overdrive. 3 extra shots means 3 extra damage total with your Sensor Mass. Down here we've got Enhanced Targeting Systems. Grants adaptive aim and hollow targeting abilities. So in vanilla, you had to pick up adaptive aim and hollow targeting separately. This kind of puts them all together in one perk. So now this thing is capable of shooting very accurately and hollow targeting everything. Good stuff. Shredder over here, that makes sense. If you're shooting something multiple times, being able to shred it is just a no-brainer here. Traverse Fire. After taking a standard shot with your primary weapon with your first action, you may take an additional non-movement action. So basically you get to do two things, right? You get to shoot first, and then you get to activate an ability or shoot again. You just can't move. This combos with the Overdrive ability. You can shoot first, you get a bonus action, then you activate Overdrive, and you get 2 more shots. So you can get a total of 4 shots off in 1 turn, basically, with Traverse Fire and Overdrive. Very powerful combo. Comboed with Shred, you can just kind of rip apart all the armor on a Sectopod, especially if you give this thing Shredder ammo. Things with like over 10 armor are just going to lose all that armor very quickly. Collateral damage. Fire a barrage of heavy chain gun rounds to a location, destroying cover within the area, deals a small amount of damage to enemies, 4-turn cooldown, uses up ammo. This is really good for just removing cover on things, and the way cover works in Long War, it's a lot harder to destroy it than Vanilla, where if you throw a grenade on something in Vanilla, it kind of evaporates the cover instantly. That doesn't happen in Long War, so it's really good to have something that can rip apart cover easily. This thing destroys environments incredibly easily. Disabling Shot, this one's pretty self-explanatory, stuns the enemy. You can stun them for 2 rounds if you get a crit. Okay, next set of perks over here. We've got the Punchy perks. All enemies within the Spark's 5-tile radius suffer penalties to aim and mobility, so standing in the middle of the enemy team makes them weaker. Then follow that up with Cutthroat over here. Melee attacks against biological enemies ignore their armor, have plus 15 crit chance, and do plus 2 critical damage. This is really good in that you can pierce all the armor on organic enemies. Almost every enemy in Beyond Legendary has armor, and some of the more notable examples would be like the Pathfinder type enemies. They all have a bunch of armor. Shield Bearers have a bunch of armor. What else has a bunch of armor? Gatekeepers have a bunch of armor. You penetrate all of that. Very powerful. If you're going to do the Punchy build, I do recommend taking that. Assault Servos grants plus 2 damage and plus 20 aim to all strike attacks. Also grants the Wrecking Ball ability. So not only do you get to punch things more accurately and for more damage, you get to wreck their cover. Very good combo there. Spark can throw a free half damage strike attacks at any enemies who enter or attack from melee range, does not require the kinetic strike ability, cannot activate on the unit's own turn. So essentially this is just Blade Storm with half damage of the Fist Punch ability. I guess it makes sense to pick this up if you're going to plan on doing a Punchy Fist build. I haven't really done the Punchy Fist build too much, so I can't give too much input on this, but I can explain how it should work. So essentially you're going to be running in, punching a target with really high accuracy, you'll destroy all their cover, and if they're somehow not dead despite having no cover and getting punched in the face by a giant robot, when it's their turn and they try to move or fight back, you punch them again for another half punch worth of damage. Concussive Strike. Special strike attack that does half damage but stuns the target for 2 action points. So that's basically 1 turn on most enemies. Cannot target robotic units. 4-turn cooldown and reduces the cooldown of Kinetic Strike by 1. So before Kinetic Strike had a 3-turn cooldown, cutting that down to 2-turn cooldown means you get to use it every other round instead of only being able to use it once every 3 rounds. Pretty solid, and stunning things is always a good thing in this mod. There's a lot of special enemies that react upon taking damage, and being able to kind of cancel that is really, really powerful. Nova releases a blast of energy damaging all nearby units. This attack has no cost or cooldown, but consecutive Novas will damage the Spark. I've only used this very little in the past. I feel like your Spark dies too hard just to try to kill one enemy, in my opinion. So I don't like this ability, but hey, maybe it has its uses and I'm just not seeing it.
We've all seen their power, but I don't think I've ever met one I'd call rational. Then again, many people would question the ways of the Reaper as well.
Okay, impact compensation. After taking damage, gain a stacking 25% damage reduction until the end of your turn, max stacks 4. Now, this does not mean you can take 0% damage, it is multiplicative, so it's, you gain a stacking, so let's say 25% damage reduction, so you multiply the damage by 0.75, and then if you get hit again, you multiply the next damage by 0.75 again, and then you multiply it by 0.75 again. So it's not it's not crazy enough that you take 0 damage, but you can take very little damage though. If we want to do the math on this, stacks 4 times, right? So the first stack is 0.75, second stack is 0.75, next stack is 0.75, and then one last stack, 0.75. You can take up to only 30% of the damage taken. So for example, if an enemy, after you've been hit 4 times, if an enemy is going to do 9 damage, you'll only take 3 damage from that attack. That's pretty good in my opinion. Combined with enhanced layered armor and the actual armor of the spark itself, you can take a very minuscule amount of damage. I would actually almost always recommend taking this and maybe enhanced defensive systems. It's just a really nice combo to have, and it allows you to survive certain things. If you roll a spark with enhanced layered armor or impact fields, you can rest assured that your spark can tank even late game chosen attacks, which is pretty awesome. Not many things can actually survive late game chosen. This is one of the few ones that can. Alright, so, with how we're going to build this thing, I guess I should explain this last spot up here first. I forgot about that. Oh boy, I'm getting really tired, but let's keep going. Neutralize protocol, launch the bit to a location, disables the enemy weapons in a small radius, forcing them to reload. I've explained my stance on forcing enemies to reload in the past, and my opinion is it's not particularly great, mostly just because enemies will just reload and shoot back at you, but it's not the worst thing. This one doesn't do any damage. If you force an enemy to have no ammo left, certain enemies that react will have to reload instead of taking an action, so this has its value in that sense. Grants the rapid repair and redundant systems abilities, making it no longer end the turn and remove the stat debuffs associated with reboot. The spark will automatically use repair when rebooting, and additionally grant 1 additional charge to repair. So normally I think you only get, how many charges of repair? Does it say? Repair has 1 charge per mission and gains an additional charge with the enhanced repair systems ability. You don't really get a lot of repairs on your spark, and not many things are capable of healing HP on mechanical units unless you really spec out a team to do so. I think certain classes like roboticists can summon drones that have the repair ability. So if you have like a bunch of drones, you could try to like repeatedly repair your spark until it shrugs off all damage. That is one strat. This gives the spark the ability to give itself more HP though without having to rely on external sources, so that's kind of nice, especially because this is a unit that is going to be taking a lot of damage for your team. If you're okay with giving up the little bit of damage that Center Mass gives, this is really not bad. I'll probably be taking this on my shooting tank spark build. Arsenal. The bit can equip and fire heavy weapons. Grants the sacrifice and channeling field abilities, allowing the spark to redirect attacks from nearby allies towards itself, and increasing the spark's damage after being targeted by any attack. So this is the 2 abilities from vanilla, all thrown into one, sacrifice and channeling field. I would probably recommend taking this. Sacrifice is a really powerful ability. Although if you're doing the multi-shot build, I wouldn't fault you if you want to take Shredder. I personally opt to take the Shredder ammo to kind of make up for the lack of Shredder. But it's not a bad choice to take Shredder though. It's a really hard choice. It's really up to the player, I think. Do you see yourself using your spark more for tanking or more for shooting? In our case, I think we're pretty much going tanking with this guy. Bombard. Launch the bit or a shot from the ordnance launcher to a visible location for a powerful explosive blast which deals damage, shreds 1 armor, and damages terrain. Damage increases based on tech level of your bit or ordnance launcher. And also, the environmental damage that this thing does is really high, so I believe it's guaranteed to destroy all cover. It's very powerful in that regard. If it wasn't competing with Traverse Fire, I would probably take it, or Concussive Strike. But for the most part, this is up against some heavy competition, so I'll probably end up taking Traverse Fire myself. Blastmaster. Grants the Rainmaker and Salvo abilities, increasing heavy weapon damage, area of effect, and allowing them to be used without ending the turn. Very interesting. I haven't really done a lot of heavy weapon builds, And I really love the animation for the heavy weapon builds, especially the ordnance launcher. One day I'm gonna try one of these out, but until I finally finish beating Beyond Legendary for the first time, we have to go for the optimized strats, which is basically sustained damage output. So we're gonna be mostly taking this type of firepower on our missions, I think. And finally, Prep for War, gain an additional use of equipped heavy weapons and bombard. If the Spark has learned Assault Servos, provides an additional +2 damage to strike attacks, and decreases kinetic strike cooldown by 1. If Enhanced Targeting Systems is taken, the Spark gains +10 aim and the Avenger ability. What is Avenger ability? I think that's the one that allows you to return fire if something attacks you. Doesn't say. Okay. But if you're going to go for the punchy build, I would actually recommend taking Prep for War just because it reduces your kinetic strike cooldown by another 1. This comboed with this gives you a 1-turn cooldown on kinetic strike, meaning you get to punch something every single turn. I think that's pretty important for a punchy build if you are going to go that route. And the punchy build does do a lot of damage combined with things like Counter-Strike, so I would probably recommend it if you're going to go that route. For us though, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be taking Impact Compensation and Enhanced Defensive Systems for a really tanky Spark, followed by Traverse Fire and Enhanced Targeting Systems for 4 shots in 1 round. Then after that, I'm going to give you a bit of Self-Sustain, the way to force the Chosen to move, and finally over here I'm going to be taking Collateral Damage, that way you can kind of expose enemies if you're not able to do something yourself on that round. Down here we've got Enhanced Layered Armor. This unit can only take 40% of their max HP from a single attack, and damage from subsequent attacks is reduced by 66%. And this also factors in with armor, so if you have armor, a lot of times the enemies will end up only doing like 1 damage per strike against you. In the late game, the Chosen are going to be doing like 15 damage, 20 damage per attack, and they'll get to do it like 3 times in a row. The Spark is really the only thing that can sustain that level of damage with all of these perks here. Combine that with Impact Fields and you've got a unit that will be very, very difficult to kill for sure. Very excited to play with this guy. And this guy needs a name, so if you want the Spark, make sure to leave a comment. Alright, how long has this video been going for? Over an hour. I feel like the mission itself was only like 20 minutes or so. Got our ultralight vest. Okay, let's keep on going. Got another mission over here. Rescue from compound, and we get to have ourselves an engineer. That's pretty solid. Let's go for this mission. Let's make sure that we have a squad of 3 maybe. Compound missions don't require a full squad, so we should be able to get away with sending in just 3 troopers here. What do we send out for this mission? I'm thinking we send out 1 Hell Knight for the tankiness. You know what? If we just send in all our tanky units, the enemies can't kill us, right? Maybe that's the plan. Let's do that. Let's send in all 3 of these guys and just try to tank through this mission. We'll surround the VIP and just try to protect them as much as we can with our rooks over here. Definitely gonna grab all these ceramic platings. Who has the highest mobility out of everyone here? 16, 15, 14. You have the highest mobility, so I'm gonna give you the C4. I'm gonna plant that C4 right behind the jail cell, bust the guy out, and then we're just gonna have to stall for 3 rounds. I don't know if this team can actually stall for 3 rounds without dying, though. Especially without equipment. Do I have nanoscale vest? No, not really. Well, try your best, you guys. Give you guys some medkits, that way if someone gets injured, you guys can try to heal up the injury. 94% infiltration. Is there any way I can get this to 100% without having to... Yes, there is a way. If we slap suppressors on the entire squad, that should resolve it. 100% infiltration, we'll just do 1 more suppressor for safety. 104% infiltration. Perfect.
Sky Ranger deployed.
We're in the pipe. 5x5.
Alright, we got another squad up and running. Oh man, we're just getting mission after mission. Cross Legion, Purge, Return Fire, Hidden Event, Sabotage Transmitter. I think this one's a little bit harder to do since we've only got 5 days and 23 hours. We'll see if we can fit a squad in, but it seems like it's not gonna happen though. Especially because the default difficulty is already 10 to 12. We'll see if we can fit in a squad, but I'm not sure if I can. If I can't fit in 5 people without going over, then I'm probably not going to do it. We can fit in 5 people, okay. 10 to 12 enemies, sabotage transmitter. We're kind of running low on equipment. That's like the one problem that we've got. We're really, really low on equipment. And I think if I gear up this entire squad, we're going to go over. It's gonna be kind of a tough mission for sure. Sniper rifle. And I can't build any mag weapons either because I just don't have any supplies. I might have to pass up on this, really. Do I at least have an upgraded sword? I don't even have an upgraded sword. We're literally just out of cash right now. We can get past the 100% infiltration though. Cross Legion. This is looking kind of sketchy right now. I don't know if we can do this. We might have to pass up on this one. Do I even have like laser weapons? I think all of my laser weapons are out and I just can't afford any magnetic weapons at this point. Can I buy the mutant a magnetic weapon? But not even the mutant can get one. Can we bring a unit that can make use of a mag rifle? No, none of our units make use of a mag rifle. Oh boy, this one's kind of questionable here. We do stop a hidden event though. Some of the dark events in Beyond Legendary can get really, really nasty. I guess we'll send out a squad to do this. This is one of those missions where we get to evac at any moment, so if we feel like we can't pull this off, we just get out of there. This isn't a weak spot by any means. Like, the units that we sent out, we have a Hell Knight, we have like Mutant, they should be able to fight it out. But if a better mission shows up elsewhere and I don't have enough people, I'll definitely pull out this squad, I think.
These extremists will do little to unite the forces of your resistance, Commander.
Alright, let's keep on scanning. Another person recruited into New Australia. Excellent. The smash and grab is almost ready. The network tower is actually about ready. The HQ assault is almost ready too. Ooh. Next episode might be the HQ assault, guys. 4 days and 15 hours. Oh, is that one of our captured soldiers? I think that is. That guy, let me take a look at him again. No, not that one. Where's the guy that was... Was that guy one of our captured soldiers? That might be. Oh man, not being able to rescue him right now feels kind of bad. And this is a good mission for this area too, because this place needed more people. Being able to send in some personnel here would be incredibly nice. This might be a mission worth boosting. I'm gonna wait for Den Mother to come back up, that way she can start training up some of our lower ranking troops, and then maybe we'll boost that mission. But first though, we have ourselves an HQ assault. 40 to 42 enemies. This is the mission that we've all been looking forward to, and we can finally do it. We've got a whole squad of 8 ready to do this mission. The HQ assault is kind of like the first real check of Beyond Legendary, and this is like a test to see whether or not you're able to actually play the rest of the campaign. If you can beat this mission, this is kind of like designed to be sort of like your first big check, kind of like how let's see, like Ornstein and Smo from Dark Souls or something. This is kind of what that's meant to be like. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll be back next time for the HQ assault. 40 to 42 enemies. It's going to be very well fortified, but if we win this, we're going to officially have a foothold in this campaign, and I think this is where things kind of really start picking up and getting exciting. Till next time, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And have a good night. Bye-bye.